Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ETF2L Season 30 playoffs. We are in the lower brackets, and this is do or die for both teams. It's a Binathon. It's Bin Black versus the Bin. I am Peter. I'm joined by George. Hipfire died, literally died, and we are also having Gem here on production. You know, we are the people that didn't melt in the heat. How are you doing, George?
I'm pretty well, thanks, Peter. Called in at the last minute, has to be said, like given Hipfire's situation, but yeah.
Yeah, we're all struggling right now. Like, just this heat wave, and it's only going to get worse. So, you know, just expect all your favorite players in their life to just die these coming days in the heat as we sit inside in our darkened, like, damp rooms. But yeah. This should be a pretty fun match. We saw the Bin Black going up against Bin in the regular season, of course, and that ended 3-3. So they took a map each. So there's no telling who's going to win this tonight, but let's try and go through some lineups here. I don't know if we have stats or anything like that. We can bring up some good old roster pages, but yeah, we have the Bin to start out. So do you want to go through the Bin first here?
Yeah, of course. Relatively unchanged from like the middle part of the season. The only change I'm actually seeing is that Champagne is now back on Medic. Previously we had Isa normally taking the medic class, I think, like in her absence. So it's good to see her back now. She's able to main class, especially in this crucial playoff game. Of course, this is the money match. Whoever wins this will be guaranteed a little bit of dosh from the ETF2L gods. And then everywhere else, you got Crafty and Mr. Epic scout combo. Pretty DM oriented combo, has to be said. They're very like in your face, really solid combo from there. The Bookie and Uber Soldier combo, which is seen for a bunch of seasons now, so definitely much synergy between those two players, and Ratslayer on Demoman. Yeah,
it's I'm also looking forward to Mr. Epic on Sniper. That's kind of what he's known for, you know. And we do have Viaduct coming up. The maps should be, what was they again? It was like Viaduct, Gollywash, and Crossing. Yeah, alright, okay. I think I got the order wrong, but yeah, those
it's
were
definitely
the
those maps, but we got Process coming up first.
Yeah, but then moving on to the Bin Black, we have Daegu on Medic, and then Lucas, I'm pretty sure will not be here today, so we're actually going to have Menti stepping in on Demoman instead. I've never seen Menti play Demoman. Menti, of course, a pretty good Medic, but Lucas has been like a massive carry. You can see like his numbers are really good.
We might be live.
Oh, okay, we might be live. So Yillenham's Gink and Groove. And yeah, it's been surprisingly good scout combo so far. I'd say I didn't expect Bin Black to have a very good scout, but they've actually been very good. But take us away here on this first middle, George.
Quite gladly. I'm going to be looking at Ratslayer at the start right now. He's going to arrive at the same time as Menti. Mentilex is actually capable of Demoman, I should add that on there, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs right now. At the moment, a lot of the high ground being taken right now by the main team for the Bin. You've got Ratslayer taking his own little duel there with one of the soldiers of Yillen, as the rest of the team actually on the Bin are looking to wrap around this left side, and with one player down already in Gink, it looks like to be an advantageous mid-fight right now for the side of the Bin. And looking to actually collapse on this choke point. Ricky's picking up 2 kills, lovely stuff from him, and then the Medic forced a scamper with Daegu with support there. Trying to back off, and looks
it's
like
still getting jumped though. This scout is kind of knocked off, and now he's separated from his medic. Oh wow, that was really great job there by Hems to actually make it back there and save his medic from the crafty flank. So really great job there by Daegu to actually make it out alive. However, it is still a mid for the Bin, as they are just now looking to see if they can actually make it through this choke. Looks like they can't quite do it, so things should slow down a little bit here. Crafty is still spawning. He might even go sniper. That would be a very normal thing to do here, but yeah, man, Demoman are just completely spamming each out here. It looks like Gink's actually going to try and go in here, but a great serve from Champagne. He's going to serve on top of the net. So now we might see a counter jump in here, but nice pipe will actually slow him down. Wait, what? Okay, Daegu actually did get hit. So it's going to be we're in here. Yellen actually takes down Ratslayer as well. This is chaos.
Yeah, the air pipe denying any sort of counter attack there from Ubers, but it didn't matter anyway, because like some players for the Bin Black were committed into that fight there, but they lost 2 of their soldiers, and actually the Bin themselves lost 2 of their own, so just equalising out their mid-fight, and the Ubers once again popped on both teams, so looking to be even once again to be looking into the stalemate. Either team here looking for a decent advantage on a pick perhaps, or some sort of bomb coming in from one of the soldiers again, like we saw earlier with Gink.
Yeah, and this is where I'm always curious about, like, do you actually wait until you have Ubers before you start sending in suiciders, or do you just not care about Ubers when you know they're even, you know, they both pop? Looks like they're gonna have like half an answer here as Soldier just jumps in very aggressively, but Ratzler actually gets caught here. Menti not slowing down. I was kind of questioning his ability early on, but he gets a nice pick here, so that should open things up here for the Bin Black.
Yeah, also the extra pick down to Buki as well, going to open up much more space now for the side of the Bin Black. Although Yellen going to go down with the fight with Mr. Epic, and actually going to get 2 kills there. Nice stuff from Mr. Epic to counteract that fight there. That's going to give an advantage to his team currently. We've got a respawning Ubers, and I think actually Ratslayer, and I think Buki's going to be on the way as well. So really good chance now for the Bin to get more frags. And Mr. Epic just going ham right now, killing Mentilex as well. So Demoman down, and Dagu's on really low HP. He's going to be backing off from that fight surely to wait for the health regen.
Yeah, this Mr. Epic really making Bin Black sweat at the very least. There, just powers forward into the demo man, takes him down. You see a soldier hiding in the sewer area. I think that's Mookie. Yeah, of course it is. No, he's just sitting in there waiting. So, you know, he's probably just waiting to spring his trap at some point. But this is just a very kind of normal stalemate, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen the sniper play at any point, because that's just a very normal thing to do. See Gink trying to fight Craft here in sewers, but no, he will actually, oh sorry, that's PC area, gets taken down. And even Menti going down as well. So the trap was sprung by Mookie. This is a great time to take an Uber exchange here from the Bin.
Yeah, a bit touch and go there for the side of the Bin Black. It looks a bit like they were deliberating some sort of strategy into IT actually, but they seemed to back off of it, and then suddenly the fights happened in IT itself, and we saw the 2 players go down on the side of the Bin Black, but they're going to counteract themselves and get 2 picks of their own here. So very mixed up fight right now, and they're definitely going to be looking to commit to this, but eventually too many frags goes away at Bin. They'll be looking to back off with this, with the slight advantage right now for the Bin.
They also have a pretty big man advantage. There's still 5 seconds till everyone spawns, so this is very much a very precarious situation. They need to just hold on as long as they can. There's a lot of time on the point to actually take Mr. Epic off of it. That's a lot of cap time gone, and they have gone. Great job by them. But actually, on the medic being pressure there, Daegu survived like 10 HP. He will make it back into respawn here, and now it's the opposite situation. It's where it's going to be meant to just kind of walking out alone. That was a bit weird. He got a bit over eager there. Gets taken down, but a big push out here coming from the Bin Black.
Yeah, I think the height advantage for the eventually came useful for them, because like they had the Ratslayer really coming in actually onto that point there, clearing the 6, but eventually the Bin Black were able to respond, get the high ground, and just basically deny any sort of position onto that point there. But suddenly into this next fight, it's just a kill feed full of Bin players right now. We've got Craft for the kill, I think we saw Mr. Epic as well get one. So with only 2 players up, it's going to be really difficult to get to this defender's last
point.
But
they got the second point. Really crucially there. Right, so like we see just massive pressure right now on last, but they can't cap last yet. That's going to give them a small grace period here. The soldiers come in from the back. There's going to be an Uber here, but everyone's just kind of doing the best star split impression here. They just try their best not to get overextended, and there we go. Uber actually runs out of ammo. He just jumps into everyone as Champagne leaves. And Mookie's just hiding forward here. I think he's going to go for some sort of play. Shouldn't work. He has been called now. He is still kind of looking around. There we go. Coming with the market gardener. People will find nothing.
Read like a book then, Mickey. They've probably seen that enough in like their scrims, or maybe even at artificial, like Mickey loves to go for the meme spoon as it's called. But anyway, it's going to be the second cap right now for the side of the Bin Black. So looking to try and make waves into this midpoint rush hour, which haven't been done actually for most of this map actually. So it'd be interesting to see how they will approach this next push right now. We saw a bit of confusion last time, like they were deliberating on going for IT, but then suddenly tailed back and then they lost a bunch of players because of it. So now, they're looking for a new strategy right now, but Yillen down at the moment with 5 players up in the Bin Black, but they're looking to commit this anyway. Uber popped in really aggressively into this choke as the demo man of Menti actually gets launched up with the rockets there, but all the numbers actually in favour of the Bin Black into this mid camp.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they didn't manage to get the medic. Champagne retreats here. He's got the Uber building. Gonna take a little while, so mid will definitely fall. I don't think there's any chance of actually going there, but I actually hate what Yellen did for the Bin Black by going out there and dying when his team had a big Uber advantage. You know, that just made that push so much more difficult. They had to pop in. They actually see a suicide onto the medic, and it is going to be a force there Gink is still alive. He actually almost got a melee in there on the scout. So great suicide in there. I don't think they expected that. I think they're just kind of waiting for themselves to be able to set up a push. But now it's going to be like a counter sack onto the medic. There's a soldier on it, but Dago is just running away from him. But everyone else is dying on his team. And poor Dago, he's going to be out alone.
Yeah, Uber's getting a bunch of kills there as well during that melee, and I think it was really clever actually for the bin black. Yellen really nipped and tucked it into Sewers right actually there, clearing off the stickies onto choke and giving the opening for Gink to get a force in. But eventually the later fight was just in the bin's favour. They had a lot more DM, Uber's picked up a lot of kills as well, so all the advantages suddenly swayed back into the bin's favour, as we've seen actually for the majority of this map. Bin black seemed to get the early positional advantage, but then they just lose the later fights with the DM, and then bin seemed to counteract that and get these caps which they need for this first round.
There's a small advantage for bin black. This is one of the situations where you almost certainly cannot push on it. So I'm a little bit excited to see how they're going to try and break this. They might just send in Mookie with the spoon and see if he can actually get anything. But no, losing 2 players there, that's definitely going to put a wrench in any kind of attempt to go for a push. Actually, Mookie's in very aggressively as well. He can get picked off if he's not careful. Actually, he will take down him. That's a nice little pick. And now we have a full push out here, and they've actually held off all of this aggression, including just the people going for the medic. And now it's going to be a counter-attack in onto Dago. Dago holds on to the balls of steel there, ice in his stomach. Not going to pop for nothing there. But good job by him. But both teams just kind of exchanging some players here.
Yeah, I think the main goal right now for the bin black is for Gink to get his banner and try and coordinate some sort of push in. We saw him switch to the full solid tank setup essentially. We've got Black Box, which gives you the heals after the hits, and then the battalion's backup, which gives you the health buff as well as the defensive buff when you pop off the banner. So basically looking, I think, to farm this banner, try and get it ready for the next Uber fight even, and just trying to make the most of it into this next push, with the rest of the bin really unaware actually, and the Spooky spotted it into its bomb that this team is running this strat.
Yeah, and actually, you know, I am watching Gink right now. He's doing so much damage. He has, just at the time I've been specking him, he has done at least 300 damage. Oh, and looks like he has actually got enough to do the banner, so he's going to come out here with his team, I think.
Yeah, enough damage to pop it off. He's going to be looking to jump in right now, trying to go immediately deep into Champagne. It's going to be launched up, but eventually it's going to be Gink dying there. And Yellen actually died in the exchange fight there with Ubers, so 2 players down right now for the bin black. No soldiers up, and with Osh classes now for the side of the bin black, this could be prove to be a difficult last hold unless the sentry is uncontested by the bin.
Oh, the medic's going to be popped. Yeah, there we go. Dago, he had to pop there. And this is a really unfortunate pop. And he like, they did lose some players for it to get that pop out, but just Dago, he was just juggled and really out of position there. The 2 others were actually probably used Uber. You see a single soldier going to try and jump out here. I don't think he's going to see much success. Oh, he might actually get onto Champagne. He gets onto... Wow, that shouldn't have happened. That's really embarrassing for the bin. Champagne getting popped there by Yellen. He was just caught forever.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he actually jumped there on purpose or if he got launched off by another soldier there. But yeah, Yellen getting a decent force onto Champagne there. So going to be the Uber advantage definitely into the bin black's favour. But it's going to be a difficult job to actually push out of this process last. Even with this Uber ad they have, they're probably going to maybe wait for another Gink banner perhaps before the main team is able to get their Uber and try and push up at that once again. We saw it the last time, so it's probably not looking to change up any sort of tactics here, as they're going to try and eventually peek some players in to try and get some sort of cheeky pick onto the bin.
There's a spy hiding around here, and that's crafty. Let's see if he can do anything here. He's actually do have the Uber coming out here very aggressively. Champagne's really weak. She's doing her best to dodge, but a soldier, yeah, that's going to definitely be it. You see Crafty in on last here. Mookie's in on last as well. They actually have a double back cap going on, so it might just be too much. Yeah, there we go. They didn't cover the exits well enough.
I'll just say there was a moment there when Mookie literally walked behind Gink while he was spamming onto point, as well as the spy as well, who actually saw that as well. So Gink actually went into rollout as well. So, you know, maybe a lack of awareness on the side of the bin back for Mookie to get enough space to kill the gun and then get the cap itself. But yeah, it's going to be the first round right now for the main team for the bin, and we're going into this next mid fight.
Well, we'll see it last time around. It was definitely not very successful for the bin black, but hopefully they can do better here. Both teams just kind of having a stalemate right now, not jumping in. See both, we see bin black, they're kind of playing their own left side and just doing some spam, but they're not really willing to commit. I think they're just hoping to just kind of absorb everything that happens when you jump in, you know?
Yeah, it seemed really bunched up actually near the point by the walls, so probably we're going for a double soldier bomb perhaps, but seemed to back off of that strat and eventually. But now Mickey going to try and do the re-jump in on this right side, trying to get onto the medic of Daegu. But right now it seems to be an even fight. Eventually the first pick is going to go to Groove onto Ubers, so they should get them enough of a man advantage to bully their way into this mid cap.
Very interesting how they just played that so passively. Like, either team was definitely very uncomfortable by pushing in there. You can kind of tell, and Menji walks forward and again gets picked off just a little bit too far forward there. You can tell he doesn't quite have that synergy with his medic Daegu. So they're going to lose the demo immediately, but this fight is still pretty close, but it looks like it is indeed going the way of the bin. They have all the high ground right now, although there are two scouts just kind of like buzzing around, you know, just shooting up at these soldiers. They are eventually going to get spammed out. And Mr. Epic's actually trying to come in for a flank, but he's going to be two scouts. But Crafty comes in as well. No, he will get taken down. So actually a bit of an overextension here coming out, but everyone's just in here. Groove just cleaning up the best of his ability. Oh my god, Groove on the 6k. Actually holds on and Daegu survives.
Yeah, Mickey was really desperate for that med pick on the Daegu, but didn't hit the juicy rockets that you need for that sort of kill, and eventually it's going to be the bin black with the man advantage and the Uber advantage as well, so we're in a good position here to equalise this map for 1-1, as the rest of the bin look to set up their last defense. We've got an engineer set up on the left side, Crafty, and the sniper actually on Mr. Epic, so looking to try and get that cheeky entry pick to deny any sort of aggression here, but they're actually really close on the side of the bin back on the left side right now. They're going to probably pop this up and try and get this gun instantly, with Mentalex doing the majority of the spam onto the right side.
They had not waited for the Uber before they went in there, and actually that means they were very, very close with the Uber, but they only really get the sentry gun, but also the demo man. That means that they can dive people on to the point and if they really want to, but they have this heavy that they need to deal with, and the heavy has taken so little damage, and they just don't have the firepower to get enough there. They just didn't do enough damage early on in the fight, and that meant that once it came time to actually take down this tank of a heavy, they just didn't have enough ammo loaded, basically, so he just stood there and chewed them up. This whole push just failed, so that's definitely a missed opportunity. Oh, Meme Spoon coming in here from Mookie hits the Market Gardener and then just takes down Yellen with the rocket, so it's a great job by him. That's one soldier less, so that means that the children completely open for them to just walk in.
Which is obviously Mickey to confidence, probably going for a much more bolder play, and eventually he's going to actually get picked out immediately from Groove there, so probably a bit too eager for his liking. I know he got a bunch of kills in that last point, but now the bin looking to try and equalise this. We've got Crafty launched up into the sky, eventually eating a faithful rocket there from Yellen. So very scrappy fights, it has to be said. A lot of positional gains and disadvantages, and right now the bin back not looking to give Champagne any space to escape. They're going to be looking to commit in, and actually Yellen will lose his life because of that. So the rest of the bin back probably going to wait for their spawns with only 3 players up, and the spawns coming for the side of the bin.
Yeah, currently the spawns are actually better for the bin. So there's going to be like this tiny window where the spawn is going to come in slightly early, I think, but then the spawns will come in from the bin black as well. So this is definitely a very precarious situation for both teams. Daegu is taking a lot of damage, has gone down. I think this might just be enough to make the bin black move out. And yeah, they don't want any of this, so they have actually folded to this pressure from the bin. There comes Mookie! No, I'll find anyone with the spoon.
I think it was a faithful, I think it was an air pipe as well, denying that Meme Spoon to rip the dream for Mookie. And the Ubers are going to be popped up for the bin black because of this. Bin going to be popping up theirs as well, with a much more better Uber actually for Rat's there to try and deal some damage out. With the rest of the bin black looking to back off. We've got Yellen launched into the sky once again, trying to probably coordinate some sort of bomb in, but missed up his jump a bit. So right now looking to have this second point stalemate, basically try to get some sort of entry pick and look for a decent flank advantage once again.
Yeah, so far both of these teams, they have been pretty poor at actually capitalizing on any opportunities they had to push, you know, they had big man advantages, the Uber advantages, you know, it's not like they don't push, but they just seem to kind of fizzle out these opportunities, and then the enemy team can re-push, and then they will in turn kind of lose any opposite, like any advantage that they actually had. So currently both of these teams playing up very evenly so far, and the only cap so far has actually been a back cap from Mookie and Crafty on Spy. So even Ubers once again, so I am expecting to see a flying soldier with like this giant shovel in his hand just flying through a choke any moment now.
It's going to be looking into serious actually, probably going to wait for the opportunity moment into this choke and actually just going to walk straight in, just looking for general spam. I think probably not brave enough to pull out the Meme Spoon just yet, but actually going to jump into serious right now, just not confident enough to go for the Meme Spoon just yet, so probably looking to try and basically work his way into the sewer area, denying sort of flank from the side of the bin bank, and basically...
Oh, there we go! Mookie is in And I think, okay, you're actually going to trade there with Yellen. That's a pretty good result overall. But yeah, the thing with why Mookie didn't go in the first time was because the medic was just missing, right? Like, where the hell was he? Well, he was actually standing inside of PC area. So, like, you can't market garden people in PC. And Mookie, I just don't think he knew where the medic was at that point. So he just didn't jump in. But then as soon as he saw the medic, then he jumped in. And we didn't actually see a counter sack coming in. That's a pretty interesting. You would kind of think that whenever a soldier goes down, usually see the enemy team just send in their own very quickly on the server. Actually, it's actually taking a ton of damage. He's going to need an arrow or something to be safe. There we go. And actually, that's going to be a bit of an opening there for Gink to try and come in, but he gets shut down as well. Might even lose another scout, but no, both these teams, they're trying their best to just spam each other out.
Yeah, decent awareness there for Ubers to deny that space for Gink and eventually taking his life. And now both soldiers down for the side of the bin back with the supercharge ready, but also players down on the side of the bin. But now the Ubers are going to get exchanged onto this choke point right now, looking to be a solo Uber between the demo men essentially. So probably looking to try and neutralize this sort of a fight here into this choke point and basically just reset the time essentially. Like the bin have this 1 round lead. We're nearly more than halfway into this map as well. So probably looking to play the slow game against the spin black team and try and force them to make a mistake.
Yeah, I would definitely just wait for Ubers if I was the bin. But it looks like we're going to see Yellen go in here, gets completely put into the sky by blue skies. So Demo Man's in as well. Actually gets Rat Slayer, so can he actually get out? No, meant he couldn't make it out alive here, but it was definitely a valiant attempt. He takes down the Demo Man, but now Craft is going to come in, really punish them, and we see a full retreat here coming out from the bin black.
Yeah, Mr. Epic was hunting for blood as well, taking a really aggressive position into that choke as well. And now the bin are going to be looking to get this second cap with only 3 players up actually on the side of the bin black. They're going to have Mental X respawning, but with 5 seconds left for the soldiers and soldier and scout to come up here, it's going to really be a good chance to get around the board here for the bin. Probably going to wait for their Uber charge though before making some sort of aggression, but they're going to try and get this cap time anyway, try and make the next fight a little bit easier for them. But with Mr. Epic going down, it could open a chance perhaps for some sort of off-classing coming in from the bin if they were inclined to.
We'll see how they want to play this. Oh no, Yellen will just get taken down by these Rat Slayer. Oh my god, Rat Slayer with the 3K just going to completely deny the entire push on his own. Just hitting every pipe and getting a sticky kill as well. And that's going to be a push in here for sure.
The green pellets are everywhere. Rat Slayer is staying these players.
Oh,
and it's going to be another round for the bin there. Probably a bit of a late response there for the bin back to deny that cap. But it's going to be 2-0 now to the bin with about 10 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, Groove, he was just too fat and slow. He just couldn't make it onto a point in time. The bin just cleverly stacked the point there. There was no Demo Man, so and I don't even think there was like like an explosive class. So just stacking that point was a really good idea from them and paid off. And that's going to be 2-0 in favor of the bin.
Yeah, both demo men hit their serves, so arriving exactly the same time into this mid-fight. As the moment right now, we're going to have the bin black trying to take space on the left side, it seems, trying to get some more players in. We're going to see some space from Gink actually take it from the right side to try and make some sort of opening in here. But no frags as of yet, as we're going to go into this later mid-fight right now. The points available to Caps are probably going to bring out a lot more aggressive play to try and get that cap time for this first mid. And eventually the first frags will be going in, and it's going to be a pick advantage right now for the bin. But actually, I say that, it's going to be responded immediately by Hams. It's just going to be a generally scrappy fight into this choke point, but with a bit positional advantage for the bin right now.
Wow, they just continue to trade these kills. It's 3-on-3, and like it started off being 6-on-6, then it was 5-on-5, then it was 4-on-4, and oh, there we go. Finally, a really decisive turn comes out here in this middle. It's only going to be Menti alive, but that was a very close middle. I'd say the bin was ahead the entire time, but every time it looked like they were about to win, just came in an equalizing kill from the bin black, but eventually they get that crucial medic pick. They will get picked off. Now it's going to be a full Uber advantage for them coming in here. And it was actually a much more aggressive mid from the bin black this time around. They didn't quite jump in soldiers, but they were very aggressively contesting high ground and trying to kind of get the drop on people and just playing together as a team, but more aggressively and walking forward. But in the end, they lose the middle, and now they are going to have to defend against a full Uber advantage going into this last. They have a sniper, and I think they have a sentry gun going up as well, but will it be enough? Time will tell.
Yeah, Hems immediately sensing that due to Davies that he had to get some sort of advantageous pick onto Champagne, but Ubers is going to be popped out onto the left side, only just about getting onto the gun, but Ubers is going to take that down. Sticky's dead on point as well, so they're going to open up the space of the cap time, and actually just going to be Mr. Epic just walking onto it, and no contention from the bin black. It's going to be 3-0 now.
They're really running away with this. The Win Black, they need to kind of huddle together and figure out what's going on. It's just they look like they just need a little bit of firepower or maybe a bit of coordination going in here, and just also the Bin, they're just making all the right decisions in these pushes, and they are definitely the team I wasn't expecting to go in here. I know they're missing like their big carry and Lucas, but still, it's very unfortunate. But there's going to be another mid here, mid number 4. Take it away, George.
Yeah, much faster mid def and Ratslayer on the rollout there. I think Mentalek's like hit bump in his attempted surf into ramp, so eventually it's going to be an only positional advantage for the Bin right now, but the first pick actually going in the favour of the Bin Black, so probably looking to try and make a much more scrappier fight with this, but suddenly the frags are going in the way of the main team as actually follows up with the air rocket there, and now looking to drop down Ratslayer with the follow-up damage as well. It's going to be the Scout Soldier fight between Crafty and Gink, who's going to win this. About even HP, Gink's going to get a health pack to try and take the advantage of that, but Crafty's going to take the smaller health packs. Just really scrappy fight to try and get this last kill and trying to kill this midpoint. But actually with the time delayed, it could be a chance actually for maybe Bin Blackpad to contest this, but not going to be enough. It's going to be the mid eventually for the Bin.
Yeah, this was a classic DM fight on Process Middle. If you ever played on a DM server, you will know that Scout on Process Middle is really, really difficult to actually contest with, because they can just jump off of so many big props up on that high ground. And even there's a small med kit there. And yeah, unless Gink hits like a crazy rocket, he's just not winning that. And he didn't hit it, and Crafty had really good movement. So it's going to be another middle here for the Bin. Not a very convincing one, but it will be enough for them. And actually, Mookie going down, that's going to make it so that the flank is possibly more open. So I expect to see some pressure coming in here through the PC area, or maybe even just going to push through choke, see if they can actually get a push in. Looks like that's what Yellen was trying to do, but the rest of his team was not quite on the same page. And then Hem's going to go down as well. Even there's a soldering onto the medic here, but Champagne's going to do a neat little surf, and this has not gone the way of Bin Black.
Crotchy's been behind the whole time. He's going to get the force off the Daegu as well, so really good stuff from him, sneaking behind that and getting that force onto the medic there. So really good position right now for the Bin to follow up this round. They're going to try and force these players out. They're going to Mentalek some really low HP, trying to escape there. Groover is going to get minced up by Ubers, and Mickey's going to do the same to Mentalek. So 2 players down on the side of Bin Black, with the respawn's just about coming in. The crack cap just about coming out right now for the Bin, and with 2 players outside of the Bin Black, it's going to be a difficult last fight, has to be said. Mr. Epic away in the cap, that is going to be 4-0 with 6 minutes to go.
It's pretty interesting people coming out from Champagne. It was one of those you don't really need to use it. Champagne was definitely not in danger, but you just kind of popped it to save for teammates and make sure that they were completely healthy going into the last point. So what I call a momentum Uber, just keeping everyone healthy, making sure they don't you don't bleed a single player or anything. And then when you get into the latch, you just have so many more players that nothing else matters. So for this area, they've been running away with this map.
So yeah, potentially the penultimate round of this map in particular, they're going to be going to, I think, Product next, I believe. But right now, going into this potentially last mid fight, got Ratslayer trying to make waves onto the point, eventually getting mowed down there by the Soldier of Gink. And now Bin Black actually looking to respond to this. Still got the slight positional advantage actually coming into this. They've got the high ground right now, looking to collapse onto these flanking players, but Mr. Epic and Ubers, solid stuff from them to get those kills, and it's just going to be Mentalek scampering away with his tail between his legs into this life, as the Bin surely are going to get another mid win.
Yeah, the Bin, they have just been really, really dominant on these middles. A lot of them haven't even looked close, and whenever it was close, they just edge it out pretty comfortably. And it's a big hurdle to overcome. We see Mookie just walking, trying to ignore the Scout, as if maybe that's going to make him invisible, but no, that's not how it works. And the Bin, they're just jumping in here, even though they've lost the soldier. They just wanted to go in here and use the Uber Champagne with a nice little surf, and then Ubers for very little reason. All right, that one I didn't quite understand, but yeah, I guess she just didn't know where people were, so she just didn't want to. Daego's on 50%. Is protected by a Scout and a Demo Man. I think he's actually pretty safe. There's very little time onto the second point here, so you know, maybe if 4 rounds in 4 minutes, this is the time to do it.
Yep, still, I guess always possible in this case, but right now, everything in favour for the Bin to seal this map and take it 1-0 into the series for this Premiership playoffs. at the moment right now, looking to just basically play it safe, looking to try and build their Uber up. They know Daegu has the Uber ads, and so the bin black are probably going to go for a desperation push. So probably just looking to draw them out, try and set themselves up for this defense, and then try to maybe slip a player between the cracks and go for a potential back cap perhaps. And indeed, the Uber has come out on the side of the bin black, immediately launching onto point to try and get that early cap time, and 2 frags already going to go for that. They're going to be Miku and Ratsaber. Uber's behind point. He's going to try and come in and get this cap time, and eventually gets picked off there by the Piper Mentalex, just about denying that back cap. I knew they were going to be send someone behind there, and Mr. Epic actually died really late in that as well. I think they're trying to go for the same thing.
Luckily for the bin, Champagne did the right thing and just ran away, just left her teammates to die. That is actually the correct move there. But we actually see a flank coming around. These scouts, they want to go into the joke, but on the one they will find a demo man. They'll say, unfortunately, they find a free picker, man. Soldier in the skybox, can he get air shot? No. Oh, that is just a waste of dead time, you know? You gotta hit those air shots. Anyway, Daegu's just dancing around, just somehow surviving unbelievably. Alright, there we go, finally. Craft is gonna get like 2 kills and 2 pistol shots. It's looked very, very cool, but actually kind of insane what the movement did there for Daegu. There's a single soldier waiting, no, a scout waiting around, and it's just him. It's just Mookie killed himself, I'm pretty sure. Just died. Alright.
Yeah, Hems just really trying to get back to his team perhaps, or maybe go for some sort of desperation play here. I think he was trying to get onto Ratslayer, but the sticky stare proving fruitful in securing that kill. Coming up to 2 minutes 20 left into this first map, we're going to see the bin trying to make waves into this choke point and try and secure this map for themselves. But genuinely exchange frag zone on there, 2 for 1 essentially, and then Yunnan gets the reply there, so the equalization after that second hold as well. But the bin, I think, are going to try and play this slowly. 2 minutes left, there's no way the bin black can come back into this, surely.
No, this is all about the frag clips, baby. So Mookie knows, so he's gonna just jump in there, go for the meme spoon or something, and
hits the fence.
Yeah. Oh man, that's not quite what you wanted. They do have an Uber advantage, so normally that's why you want to wait. Oh my God, Mensa just takes down Mr. Epic with double pipes. No biggie. Champagne didn't see that one coming, that's for sure. So he's just gonna settle for this simple soldier Uber. Daegu's gonna see if he can be a hero. No, Ubers will just take him down easily. As Champagne goes down to Messi with the sword. That's basically a bottle. It does 65 damage, but taking down a medic feels good. You know, good times, good times. It's about 1 minute and 20 seconds, so it could actually just be, you know, mercy kill. So King's gonna jump in here. Can he get the melee kill? Yes, he can. 3 melees. Minecraft. Yep. That's exactly what happened there. So that's what you want. Oh, Mookie comes in, gets another meme spoon, takes down Menti. I think he actually landed slightly before. Maybe just fully buffed. I don't even know. I'm not paying attention. I will be honest with you. See Crafty trying to go in onto last. Things are happening. Shooty pooty. Nothing matters.
Yeah, apologies for sounding like a 6-year-old in a game shop there. I had nothing better to say after that pickaxe kill, but eventually it's going to be the bin blacks trying to walk in here just to kill this map outright, get the 5-0 that they probably deserve actually coming up with this. They've been really outclassing the bin black every step of the way despite their advantages, but actually the bin black looking to not give the consolation of that 5-0, just try and basically ramp themselves up for the next map I think and just hold them to this last point and deny the 5-0.
Oh, Crafty misses out on the demo man kill. That's unfortunate. They're going to logs. Tisk tisk. Anyway, Soldier's in here on the high ground. We're just getting more by groove, just eating alive. And Yelpin's just gonna be in choke as everyone desperately jumps in there trying to get kills for the logs. They will find none of them. That's gonna be 4-0 for Bin in the first round, or the first map of this best of 3. Best of 3. Yep, that's what it is.
Yes, best of 3 series.
Yeah, I was like, is it best of 5? No, not yet, not yet.
No, that's grand finals.
Yeah, and it was very, very clear. It was pretty slow in the beginning, you know. Like I don't want to say, like the bin didn't look unsafe or unsure but whether or not they could take it. But you know, you kind of always feel like when it's 1-0, like 18 minutes remaining or something, like that's a pretty open game. But then slowly, as the game progressed and they just kept on winning these middles, just kind of ran away with it. And actually, interestingly enough, Bin Black actually won the second mid. I didn't even realize. I thought they lost all of them.
So yeah, worth looking at these logs actually, to try and determine who are the definitely the MVPs for that map. So looking at it, Ratslayer nearly touching 10k damage in there, just the big 41 damage away there from the magic number. But 339 damage a minute on Process is pretty decent, actually. And in terms of kills, we're going to be seeing Ubers and Groove actually sharing the spoils there, 25 frags apiece, with a slightly better assist rate for Groove there, with the same map deaths for him. So just generally, I think it tends to like the scrappiness of those fights sometimes. I mean, even though the Ben Black lost a lot of them, it basically managed to get the frags in between and then sort of came down to the wire. They just didn't have that finishing touch to try and secure those pushes.
Yeah, there's not really like these big differences in the stats. I think the biggest difference is that
by the way, Yilin, 16 air shots.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't even think there's like a bugged spot on like there is in Granary or anything. So that's just 16 air shots, you know. That's the important stat, that's for sure. But the actually important stats I'd say is probably if you look at Hems and Gink, because they both have pretty poor stats. Hems going 13 for 18, 12 assists. That's pretty poor, and then Gink going 12 for 19, which is pretty normal roamer stats. But then when you look at Mookie, went 20 for 27, then it looks a little bit worse. And the Mookie also had significantly more damage. So I feel like probably just the flank is just taking some hits there for the bin. And I was expecting like Menti to just be the big problem, but he's clearly not. Like, he's doing fine. So a bit surprising in that regard, I suppose.
Yeah, Menflix I think has a decent amount of experience in Demoman anyways, probably playing it in, like casually maybe in some leagues or other, but yeah, he's definitely showed up in this match, nearly very closely tying damage with Ratslayer there. But I think the thing with the Bim Black is that they had the right ideas at times with like some of these push ideas, but it's just lacking the execution. They either mistime it or like something in the map itself sort of like gets in their way and like they bump a wall or whatever. So it's just like really struggling to like get that finishing touch, like I said earlier, in some of these pushes.
Yeah, indeed. But you know, we've looked a bit at
Products might change it though.
Oh yeah, this should be a very different map, and maybe not for the reasons we think, but you know, we have this guy called Mr. Epic, and he is pretty disgusting on Sniper, and he's like we've seen whenever people play against the Bin, they will just ban out Viaduct, and apparently the Bin Black just liked Viaduct as well, so they didn't ban it out. So, and I think both these teams just kind of agreed on these these maps. Just kind of agreed, oh yeah, we like these three maps, let's just play these. So we don't know like about what the bans are or anything like that. So, you know, we're just conjecturing, but it does seem like both teams are really happy to play this map, and you know, I can't wait to see what kind of magic we're gonna have in the trunk here by Mr. Epic. I expect it's gonna be like 2 scouts and a sniper for both teams probably, and like who is actually a good sniper on the side of Bin Black though? Like I'm pretty sure Yellen can play scout, but who would they put on sniper?
No names that immediately stick out to me. I think probably Groove would have the most experience in sniper. I think he's played it a lot more than say Gink, so you're probably going to see him maybe on the sniper class. And as you talk about snipers, we got Mon immediately going to mid on the sniper class, so it'd be interesting to see how this first mid will pan out. And
yeah, cookie cutter for the Bin Black though, interestingly enough.
So yeah, coming into this first mid fight, we've already got Mr. Epic set up on this cliff area, and actually I think a big bomb actually on for the soldiers there, and Mentalek's going to get 2 kills immediately there onto Crafty and Ratslayer, so really catching them by surprise actually with the bombs there. I think it coordinated with the main push on the left side. It's just really well executed there, which is what I said they needed, and they're looking to get this first mid fight actually.
Oh, and getting Mr. Epic there as well, that's nice. It's always nice with these really late kills, you know. And this is the danger of having a sniper, you know. If the sniper doesn't get like a bunch of damage immediately, or even sometimes when they do, you're kind of a man down, quote unquote, right? Because the sniper doesn't really absorb damage very well, like he doesn't dodge or anything. I can see a pyro coming out here with forward hold. But yeah, they just lost that, and oh my god, actually a really nice push out here from the Bin on the right side.
A nice air shot there from Yilin to clearing up the Ubers right there, who's actually playing out in the midst of Mr. Epic on the sniper.
Pyro the medic, Mookie just pushed all the way out there and kind of forced the Uber. I think Daegu just popped it because he couldn't see him, and Champagne, oh my god, gets taken down with the full Uber advantage. Menti gets the really crucial pick there. So that means Daegu can just continue to hold on to this Uber advantage unless, of course, Mr. Epic just decided to clean everyone up in the sniper level.
Yeah, and a bunch of time ready right now.
Mookie with the airshot as well, sorry.
That's fine, you can call the hype plays. But yeah, seem to be going for the classic forward hold counter there with like Mickey on Pyro and everything. But it seems to be get a bit too carried away. I think Mickey, like you saw, was just rushing it into the medic there, but had no protection for his own medic. And basically, the Bin Black were able to get up hand there. But eventually, the first cap going to go the way of the Bin. And with Mr. Epic set up on China right now with the sniper, it's gonna be interesting how the Bin Black will counteract this and maybe send a soldier in perhaps to try and counter that Mr. Epic sniper.
They definitely sent 2 soldiers in here very aggressively onto the demo man, actually. Somehow survived. There we go. Finally gets taken down, but they just wasted so much time trying to get that. Mookie even gets saved by a nice arrow here. It's going to come in and finish off Groove. But just the really, really heavy aggression onto the demo man, they're not paying off at all. Like when you bomb in 2 soldiers to get 1 player, and you don't get him, yeah, it's going to be a bad fight for you, buddy.
Yeah, the push seems to be very similar to what happened on the mid fight, actually, when they were able to get... My god, somebody
bombs in and takes him down, yeah.
Right, so 3 players up right now for the back off that push. Basically, I guess it wasn't that way because Zagu actually died in that amidst of that. So just looking to basically chuck as many players as they can with this time gap they have, but it's going to be evened out eventually. So probably going to see a much more conservative push here for the side of the Bin Black. It's like the full Uber ad right now for the side of the Bin. So probably maybe going to try and do another soldier bomb and try and get that force into Champagne potentially.
Yeah, this is just all about like how far in can you take Daegu, you know? Like, you don't want to lose him, but now you're in this horrible position where you have Mr. Epic, he's kind of on fire, and he's just doing so much work. He can just sit back, and now you have to do a suicide wave. They're going to come in here, do pretty well, but it's actually basically a push right now. I'm a bit surprised at how far in Daegu is. He is just in, and Champagne actually gets hit by like a little bleed ball from the scout. That thing's unbanned. And actually, they will get the cap here. Now it's just a matter of can Daegu get out? No, I don't think so. This is the danger of doing the push like this. So they actually capped the point, but it's just going to get recapped immediately. So I'm not sure that was worth it.
One also unstoppable right now because of the 10 kill streak in this life, so definitely delivering on that sniper. And I think he was denying a lot of the air damage there as well for the Bin Black. But the soldiers were getting in, but he was just hitting the body shots and just killing their momentum completely. And then they had to scramble into position to try and get away from the Mr. Epic sniper. But it just worked really well for them. And right now, with this positional advantage for the Bin and the time they have as well, it's going to be really difficult for the Bin Black to try and counteract this. And now we got Gink taking a much wider route into the flank here. It's going to be called out by Crafty and it eventually forced back. You've got Mr. Epic actually launched into house there and low HP, so probably going to wait for an arrow on Champagne there, but coming in from, I think from Gink, but the Surfer from Champagne as well, also denying any sort of med pick there and sniper pick as well, so free to give heals to that crucial sniper is proving for this mid hold.
Yeah, indeed, and just so many people barely surviving there. Champagne did a nice surf, kind of stood on the high ground before dropping down and barely taking some fall damage, and then everyone else just didn't die. So Champagne's gonna have a slightly good advantage. Well, definitely not enough to like really matter here, I don't think, unless see Daegu coming in here. But again, we'll also just jump in here on the medic and the demo man. Here comes the Uber out. Daegu's actually on 94%. He's not been healing at all. This is just terrible. There we go. He actually finally does get it. But Mr. Epic's now on the 12th kill streak. This is looking kind of rough for the Bin Black.
Yeah, nearly getting the shot as well into Daegu there. Going to rescope and try and deny any sort of point potential here with 5 seconds left on the cap as well. This really looks like a first round for the Bin once again, and with the soldiers trying to come in really late. The site a bit over time with, but I don't think enough momentum for Mentalex to make the cap there. And that's going to be the first round for the Bin.
This is just like, this is why normally most people ban Viaduct against the Bin, right? Because you just have to deal with Mr. Epic. And Mr. Epic, he's never dying. I don't think he's died at all. He has like 3 dominations at 23 points, and he just continues to just get a lot of damage in. Just he's not really being pressured a whole lot. Maybe that double soldier bomb should go onto the sniper. But anyway, we have another mid going.
Yeah, the only time Mr. Epic really died was that first mid fight when we saw the double soldier bomb into left side. So right now, probably looking to come into that another headshot as well onto Mentalex. And there you go, the double combo. Get the headshot on the grooves, looking for follow up as well. Just going and the body shot, and just Mr. Epic killing absolutely everything.
Yeah, he's warmed up, that's for sure. That was 3 headshots on the middle, so he did 500 damage on the middle. I don't know. I don't think I've ever done that on Soldier, just putting it out there. So, lots of damage. That's what you want from your sniper, and of course getting kills is also Very nice. Ubers are pretty even here though, so that means that you can kind of do a dry push. Of course, when you have that sniper in there, you get a lot of opportunities, but Mr. Epic is just relentless, man.
Daegu going down on the crossover there, he took the risk and it cost him eventually. Mr. Epic once again delivering the goods on that sniper class, looking for Laura as well, just scoped in very comfortable position actually on China. It's surprising been like Afrin actually dealt with this now until we're going to get the bomb in for Yellen, finally getting onto and stopping that momentum there for Mr. Epic, but just a respawn to come back and cause more havoc surely at this rate.
Yeah, that's a kill that feels really good, but I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. You know, gotta put the sniper in his place. Yeah, anyway, I can see it's Uber's on scout here, who's been that the entire time, and now we're gonna see the Uber comes block the point. Oh, not block the point, we got actually capped out. So that was a very uneventful Uber. Very well played there by Bin Black to just get their medic out of there very quickly, and they're actually just gonna push back in, and unfortunately for them, they run into a Mr. Epic headshot, and that means that it might be a bit of a precarious pushing if a Crafty gets taken down as well. A nice fat sticky onto him as well. And now they're jumping onto the sniper. Mr. Epic, nice surf, just cannot die it seems. And Ubers will just clean up as everyone just desperately tries to get onto the sniper and kill him.
Yeah, Mr. Epic serving better than some medics, it has to be said, but eventually 2 HP is not going to be enough to serve away from Rocket. He's going to go down to clean up there from Hems. And I think the Bin were going for a different strategy initially. On the left side, we had the conch popped off actually from Wookie there, but he just decided instantly from the spam coming from the soldiers, and they couldn't get the speed boost they needed. So it was just going to be collapsing from there, but eventually the Bin are replying with their own frags, and only 2 up suddenly for the side of the Bin Black, with the respawning Mr. Epic as well, able to take position onto this China place.
Yeah. Just waiting to see if he can catch anyone out there. Champagne with a pretty nice 50% of it. Mookie tries to jump in there, see if he can get the medic with the moon spoon, but he will get shot down there by Yellen, who will then find the end of a bullet of Mr. Epic again. So Mr. Epic just constantly being a nuisance, but we're going to see a full push in here. They are kind of a man down, and yeah, Rassler has gone down as well. And the Groove has just done a lot of cleanup right now, and everyone has been pushed back from the Bin, and they are all the way back on last, including their snipers. So, great push here coming out from the Bin Black.
Yeah, you had to guess that maybe the Bin have been a bit too complacent with Mr. Epic getting all these kills, because like we saw the kill onto the Yellen, and they seemed to like collapse after that eventually, but the headshot of the Daegu is going to repair that, and probably going to get the cleanups into Hems as well. Just going to be juking around, tries to throw the Christmas ball at him, but not going to be enough there. But still, good position here for the Bin Black to get some good time and potentially lead it into some sort of round.
Yeah, there you're going down there. It's very unfortunate. Champagne with a full advantage. They're going to move in here. They don't want to use this Uber, of course. We actually see Mr. Epic being very aggressive, and he might just get taken down. So now we see a double sort of bomb coming in. A scout in on them as well. That's going to get the force out. There you go. Mr. Epic will pick Yellen out of the sky. Yellen was kind of fine with that. He was wanting to die as fast as possible anyway. And Daegu made it out alive. So they got the force out here. Basically everything that they wanted. You know, they were going to lose the point no matter what here. So good play here from the Bin Black. So they're looking pretty good. Time's about equal here on both teams. Slight advantage for the Bin. That's ticking down right now. But this is just really well set up here for a counter-attack as Mookie comes in onto the medic again. This has happened like 4 times now. When Mookie just comes in the same way, and he's taken down the medic several times with it.
Yellen trying to get up as well, and the sticky shot denying him on the cliff, as well as the headshot there from onto the Ventilex from Mr. Epic. Eventually going to get a pick onto him, so some sort of were ruled out of this, and they could actually get a mid cap of this as well. We're going to have Groove on the midpoint. And one thing I have to say about the Bin Black as well is that the soldier bombs are a lot more coordinated than we saw before. They're able to get much more position onto Epic to try and deny him, and then after that they're able to get a lot more damage onto the key classes that were on the point. So definitely a lot more coordination from the side of the Bin Black that we've seen in the previous round, and looking to try and ride this time they have into
one of the other
kind
of positives of getting Mr. Epic is that he usually is standing on the high ground. So if you go up and kill Mr. Epic, you yourself standing on the high ground behind the enemy team, and you just in this really good position. Here we go. The double sorter bombs in. They're kind of going to try and take the flank out. Menti has gone down, so that's the sticky's gone. However, Yellen will be taken down as well. So I think actually at this point it's looking very, very dicey. But Gink's going to come in there very aggressively. He will eventually get taken down.
Oh my god. And the follow-up onto Groove, Mr. Epic. I don't know what Daegu was doing there, really. He was just all alone on mid, while, like, Mr. Epic had the sightline onto him. You think he would probably commit a bit more to his team there, but I guess the frags weren't flowing, essentially, for the Bin Black, and they were able to get the advantage over that. And now the Bin, with the cap on their own, 30 seconds left on their side, they're probably looking to try and steal this round and bring it to 2-0.
Yeah, they have the Uber advantage, then they hold the point. That's a really nice position to be in. I don't think there's enough time for like a big suicide wave, so it's just going to be an all-out push.
How does he pick him out there? It was like 3 players that crossed, and he still picks up Daegu. What a monster of a man this is on the sniper, and he's looking for more as well. Going to try and get into the groove, and eventually he's going to be Karate getting the pistol cleanup. And now Mr. Epic just trying to support more damage, but the drop of the champagne! But 4 seconds left, I don't think it's enough anyway, and it's going to be 2-0 for the bin.
Yeah, that was actually a really important drop though, however, they did lose too many players there. Oh man, Mr. Epic, I just want to point out, he has 51 points. Both medics have about 30.
Jesus Christ.
Just to give you an idea, so Mr. Epic is just going absolute ham.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the logs. It has to be set after this match. I hope it goes the distance just so that Mr. Epic can get some more frags. And just like make some more highlights. He is a monster right now onto this sniper class, which you mentioned before. He is definitely a capable sniper, and we're seeing it today onto this product map. Once again, the double soldier bomb trying to come in, immediately denied there. We're going to have Ginking and them both going down on that the bomb on the left side. You think to take a more direct route perhaps into Cliff, but not looking to take that risk there. Mickey tried to get onto Daegu as well, but eventually all the frags are in the way right now, and looking to be the first miscap here as Mr. Epic tries to back off, but eventually gets cleaned up by Hems.
Yeah, really good mid there. It was a bit weird. Mookie decided to go buff banner to mid as a roamer, so he didn't really do a whole lot. And then when he jumped in, he was already kind of weak, and then he just didn't quite manage to get the surf on Daegu, like hit those rockets. So then the rest of them just kind of collapsed. So maybe a bit too optimistic there coming out from Mookie. Anyway, going to be a pretty even Uber push here. These Champagne just have 20% to go, but yeah, they need to come in here and at least put on some pressure.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting actually to see from the bin back. They haven't been tempted to take a counter sniper at all. They've been really trying to commit their soldiers into it, but it hasn't been working essentially. We're already 2 rounds down. You think at this stage it should probably be worth trying to at least one sniper to try and contest this the bin sniper, but it doesn't seem to be in their ideas right now, and it's going to be the bin getting this recap eventually, I'm pretty sure, but they're going to try and deny us as much as possible. Still 6 players up on the bin black right now, and more frags that are going the way of the bin actually, and looking to clear this off despite the pressure from Mentalex.
Indeed, and even Hems is actually out of ammo, interestingly enough. That's usually a good thing on Scout, because that means you haven't died for a very long time. There you go, you got some extra ammo, but yeah, they just backed off. Ubers are pretty even, and that means that you can just kind of do a dry push where Ubers are just not a factor, and you have better respawns as the attacking team. And that's a very, very common tactic. You just basically lemmings them, you know, where you just keep on going and put on pressure, because when you trade 1-to-1, you are actually ahead. But we'll see how that plays.
Yeah, Mentalex early going down once again to Mr. Epic, and the headshot into group as well, so just 3 up suddenly on the side of the bin back after that push, and the clean up once again as well, so just absolutely getting hammered once again. And with 2 minutes left on this clock, you have to think, you got to try something. Like, Mr. Epic is denying a lot of the high space, the soldiers are getting into Daegu way too much. You got to try and maybe deliver some sort of like off class, maybe a counter sniper at least, to try and get some sort of fragging potential here. It's just nothing's working right now for the bin black on these trying to get these pushes in.
Mookie actually has a buff banner. Like, I don't know how he managed to get this, but he's got it. Alright, so once his Uber is gone, like, Mookie's going to come in here with the buff banner and things are just going to explode. Look at that, Scout took 134. There we go. There's like so much damage.
Oh, they got put up. Daegu goes down as well. Oh, that could have been a decent triple rocket if it just lined up correctly there. But actually, all the frags went in the way. They've been black off of that, and it's just going to be Mr. Epic, the respawn, surviving there. And no one's actually getting this cap. Team, there you go. I thought for a moment they forgot to cap, but eventually going to get it. And try to bring back this about 20-second deficit.
Indeed, Menti's putting up Sticky Trap up top. No, that's usually where Mr. Epic's going to materialize. They all need some heals right now. The heals are really bad on Bin Black. Looks like they're actually gonna...
Oh no. My god, Mr. Mookie just like jumps in. He hits. I thought he hit the beam spear initially because you heard the sound, but there's no damage there. Daegu gets launched up and he follows up with the air shot with the original. So Mookie getting the key pick onto Daegu there, and it's just going to be him surviving. But actually, more importantly enough, just 2 players up on the side of the bin. So still cap right now for the bin black with the slight lead as well going into this next fight.
Mookie jumps in with the Market Gardener. Actually, he's going to just 1v1 this guy Hems on an 8 kill streak. Doing really good work right now. And they are actually ahead on time. So maybe this is where Mr. Epic should turn
like
it
that.
up and hit some shots. Maybe.
Hems getting picked up there after the kill streak you mentioned. And both soldiers once again on the side of the bin black doing the same bomb once again, trying to commit one player right and one player left, but it's just not working. If Mr. Epic is going to hit these headshots all day, you might as well just give up, and nearly getting the follow-up onto Mentalex as well, just literally denying any sort of sight line that the bin black has into these pushes. And 30 seconds left on the side of bin black, but now the recap coming in for the bin with about 90 seconds left on the cap.
Just slowly move forward here. There's definitely a massive advantage on Daegu, but they don't want to go in there before you have it, you know? And if you show yourself too long, eventually Mr. Epic is just going to pull shots, body shot you. So here they go, just going to make an early Uber, jump in the demo and very deep onto the sniper. They can't quite find the sniper, never mind, there we go. They finally do get him, and a ton of damage on this right side. And now the second soldier comes in here, it's going to basically clean everything up. There's actually a nice arrow here to actually kind of delay it all, but an excellent Uber push in here. The only thing they didn't get was Champagne, but yeah, they don't need a whole lot of time here. 10 seconds and this round is over in favor of Ben Black.
Yeah, bin black's trying to claw their way back into this map right now. They're already a map down from Process, so if they lose this round, they're pretty much out already in 4th place for Premiership. So looking to try and give it all they got into this last round. Overtime right now for the side of the bin black, and with only Mickey alive, are surely going to secure the round there, 2-1.
Yeah, really strong push coming out here, and you know, they didn't really change tactics either. They just sort of played better, you know. Maybe they've kind of read the bin, or maybe the bin are just getting a little bit too complacent. But you know, I would be a bit nervous here if I was the bin, because the enemy didn't really change tactics or anything. They were just outplaying you with the same lineup that they've been using the entire time. So that's a bit worrying, I think. But we have another mid to talk about here.
And the key for that last fight as well is that Mr. Epic either got picked off really early or wasn't in position to frag right now, but immediately he's going to counteract that and get a pick onto Yellen. Looking actually going to be Mentalex getting chasing really deep into Cliff. Mr. Epic currently on 25 HP, so got to be careful not to get too cocky here, and actually going to get the pick onto Hems there, so going to get an arrow as well, so able to take full reins of this China and Cliff sight lines. It's just an absolutely destroying gun, as we mentioned so many times as well, and crits Creed like you mentioned on Champagne, so I better get my Rat Slayer cam up, or perhaps there might be tempted to do Mickey crits, maybe? No, he's just falling up anyway. So probably going to be Rat Slayer crits. He's going to have the scout of Crafty even to try and call out any sort of players there, and looks to hold this crit. So it actually does come out on the side of the bin back. It's going to be really sloppy for them if, but eventually the pick of the Champagne with Yellen with the 2 kills there as well. But Mr. Epic trying to give it all he's got as well. Diego going down in that melee with the headshot, and the SMG nearly onto the other soldier, I think of Gink actually, eventually going down, and the cleanup from Mr. Epic as well. Nicely done there to counteract that medic pick.
Indeed. And that was a pretty good rebound, I'd say, you know, just losing your medic there. Like, yeah, they were definitely looking to just find out where the enemy medic was and then crits on him, but then you just Ubered around the corner because of the whole sniper thing. So it kind of having sniper and crits working against them a little bit there, just making them any medic kind of play correctly just by accident, basically. But Hem's going to move forward here, taking down Mookie. That's going to make a ton of space coming out here. And there's actually some headshots ringing out from Mr. Epic, but so far it hasn't really had a whole lot of impact here, but there we go. It looks like finally people have been fought off here, so Bin Black, they try really hard to just go in there and be aggressive, but eventually just took too much damage and they didn't have the time on the point.
Yeah, too much damage for the bin there to like fight that off, and the Bin Black eventually losing a lot of the picks, essentially, so able to hold that ground. And then looking for the repush once again, nearly got overcharged on the side of Daegu, looking to try and come into this mid push right now. Stuck up on the left side, we're going to see a similar bomb once again from Gink. He loves taking that concrete area, and Daegu actually went down just before he got the Uber. It might have been a drop even, actually. So all the frags going in favour, surely, of the bin, as actually a lot of the bin players are scattered here, and most of the bin are actually stuck up in the cliff. They've got to be careful not to get too carried away here. They're going to try and stack up and get some damage out, but Champagne kind of isolated. Got to be careful not to get caught out by the scout of Groove, or maybe a soldier of Yellen on top of cliff, and the rest of the frags going the way of the Bin Black. Eventually the cap will go their way, perhaps a bit slower than they probably would have liked.
Indeed, but Champagne, once again, doing a really good job of just getting out alive. It's so crucial. I think this map, more than almost any other, like having keeping track of percentages and keeping your medic alive is probably the most defining thing to just get right. On 5CP sometimes a lot of other things matter a lot more than Uber. But on this map, it's just so crucial. Mr. Epic just hits yelling, just point blank. All right, just getting completely just taken down by soldiers. He doesn't care. He's like in a tiny little space and just takes down the soldier. All right, whatever, Mr. Epic.
I think apart from that though, the forward hold that did work for the bin black. They were really committed into that main area, just denying any sort of presence from the bin. And a lot of frags actually went their way, which provided them some crucial time to try and get back into this round. Of course, if they lose any round right now, they're going to be going at home essentially on 4th place in general premiership. But now the Uber's going to be popped in onto Yilin. They're immediately trying to jump in onto Ratslayer, but eventually the Uber's going to be popped onto him from the medic of Champagne. More exchange frags going on the flanks right now. We see Uber's taking his own fight with the soldiers Gink and Yilin, who are currently in China. Gink on low HP trying to get back to his medic, but eventually going to be chopped down. Mentalex and Daegu, the only survivors, as Uber's is looking to commit with the scout right now onto Daegu. Daegu on low HP trying to juke around. Eventually might actually be able to skate here, but I think that the pipe eventually does clean him up, and Crafty does get the pick onto Mentalex. And the cap is going to come out for the bin as well.
Lots of work coming out from Ubers there in that situation. It wasn't all that fancy looking, but he got a really good flank. His Mookie's actually very far forward. Going to take a lot of damage from the soldier. You will push him back. Ubers are, they're not even, but Ubers are not in play right now. So this push is basically completely even until we see Uber come and play for Champagne. There's still about, I don't know, 15 seconds until that's going to matter. Champagne actually get jumped very aggressively. Mentally, he's gonna get taken down here, but still, this medic of Champagne is not safe yet. Wow, actually, great job by his team, or team to just defend her.
Yeah, Gink's still teasing in the backlines, trying to maybe get a jump onto Champagne, but most of the bin players are surely aware of his presence, and the Uber's going to come out as well, so no chance for Gink to get that med pick. And he actually I think he air rocket there and actually crated off of that. It might have been a meat shot as well, because of 2 scouts there. Yeah, so just Sam
accidentally hit him.
Literally pounded into the ground, essentially. Yeah. So right now, the respawn is to the side of bin black. Huge Uber out as well. They've got to be careful not to lose Daegu too early. As we go into this crucial fight, actually, 7 seconds left on the cap for the bin right now. The Uber does pop out and eventually going to get some overtime, but not enough frags, I think, for the Slayer fight. It's going to be really difficult for the bin black. And actually, Mr. Epic, relying on his own, getting 2 kills there, trying to clear up this mid single-handedly onto Hems as well. Could he get the pick onto Daegu? Nearly actually gets a shot there. Yilin, the last survivor off of that, and just a spawning, I think it's Mentalex coming in. And still going to be a lot of bin players onto this point, basically stacking it up, denying any sort of overtime. But eventually, Mentalex will jump in, I think, and get a kill onto Mr. Epic. Not enough though, it's just going to be generally respawn waves coming in one by one, but I think the overtime will eventually work in the bin's favour, and they will advance to the lower bracket final and face either Seven or Swift, while the bin black will be finishing, unfortunately, in 4th place. They won't get any share of that €2,000 prize pool.
Yeah, they're definitely looking pretty silly for not banning Viaduct at this point. You know, like that was a full Uber advantage coming out here from Daegu. They pushed in and then they just lost all their players to snipes. You know, because like you just need to not be shiny for like a half a second and then the sniper can just pick you off. And that's exactly what Mr. Epic did. And he just went on like a 4K there. And
I just want logs. I want to see Mr. Epic stats. Oh my god, 47-14.
47-14.
500 damage a minute as well, 35 headshots. Ay.
Is there even anything else to say? Like, that is absolutely insane. That's an outrageously good performance.
I guess you can mention Crafty getting a decent amount of cleanup as well, 34 frags, 19 assists, so good support game from him, working with Ubers on the scout as well, so good decent stuff from him to get those kills. Apart from that, I see Hems, I think, top fragging once again for his team. I think he matched frags with Ubers in the last map. But yeah, not working eventually for Bin Black and losing 3-1 eventually, despite that 1 round they got before eventually bowing out.
Yeah, Ratslayer not having the best game actually, going 10 for 21. That's he did a decent amount of damage, but
not as much as Mentalex though. Actually, Mentalex did a decent job, pretty much matching I think its last damage total with like 9.5k damage there, 400 damage a minute as well, which is a nice round number for a demo man.
Indeed, you want those beautiful numbers, you know, that's important. But yeah, also Mookie have it going 22 and 26. I feel is very impressive on Viaduct because Viaduct is not good for roamers. Like you die a lot.
Not at all.
He actually jumped in and got like a ton of medic kills.
Anywhere you jump, you'll see a scout, and they will just like completely out DM you unless you have the decent rockets for it. So good stuff from him to get that sort of numbers there. Going into the heal stats right now, relatively even. I think there was a slight crit advantage actually for Champagne there, but the 1k disad for Daegu in terms of heals, as well as actually Daegu dropping less than Champagne in total. Champagne picking up 2 drops with Daegu just the 1.
I think one of them was the crit streak though. Like she didn't pop it obviously because there were still brute people. So I feel like that was at least one of them. But yeah, it was a pretty even day. I feel like Daegu had I don't want to say he had a good game, but like he played well. It was just he got picked off so many times by Mookie bombing in, where I kind of feel like those were very cheap frags for Mookie. Like he just kind of jumped in whenever they were setting up for their big suicide because Daegu went out there and made sure they were fully buffed, and Mookie just jumped in there and double like rocketed him and killed him. And that's yeah.
Daegu really struggled with the Mookie Roma, had to be said, as well as the general, sniper presence from Mr. Epic as well, as we saw with those huge numbers, absolutely huge numbers coming from him.
Yeah, and then other than that, I kind of feel like we don't really need to mention a whole lot other than Mr. Epic had a pretty good game.
Pretty much.
We're going to try and see if we can get some interviews in here. Maybe hear what the bin are going to spend all their money on, because now they are guaranteed, is it 350 or 300 euros?
350 euros at least. Unless they beat either Seven or Swift in the next round, then they could either go away with the 650 euros or even the big 1k.
Yeah, indeed. So there's definitely some money in it there, and a good reason to actually play. Because I was a bit worried because the last time I was casting Swift against the bin, and the bin just looked like they didn't care. So I was kind of worried that the bin matchup was just going to be a dumpster fire, kind of fittingly enough, but yeah, it wasn't. It was just a normal regular game.
I guess you could say that game was trash.
Indeed. There's like a million puns that we could go on. I feel like we're all doing you a favor by not doing it. Anyway,
they had to recycle their thoughts for the next game.
Yeah, and of course, we all know where the bin black just ended up. They got thrown the hell out of this tournament, so they're gonna go decompose. Maybe come back next season as a positive green energy. You never know.
Yeah, all this renewable guff we have nowadays.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting to me that we have like this organization, the bin, right? Like, yeah, we have several bin teams, just a bunch of garbage teams, and they both made the playoffs. And I thought the bin was going to be the weaker one because they kind of made it off of 2 default wins. They kind of got in for cheap, so to speak. They didn't quite earn as much. But
they didn't have to play as much, but definitely the skill was higher in their team as opposed to Bin Blacks. I think a lot more of their players were a bit more experienced and played together a lot longer. Of course, being the core of the previous season Division 1 Dopa in the roster. So they definitely had experience with each other, and I think it showed here because they had a lot more frags, a lot more good pushes coming out of them, and generally seemed to stifle the Bin Black.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction and say it all would have been very different if Lucas had been here. Mendy did pretty well, but I think Lucas is much better. And of course, when you play with your main demo man as opposed to a merc, it almost doesn't matter how good the merc is. Things are gonna be different and weird, and you can kind of tell sometimes that Menti was just not quite on the same page, where he would run forward too much without the team, and then he would just get dropped from Ubers and that kind of stuff, like little things where they're not quite on the same wavelength, whereas Lucas probably would have been. And yeah, so I'm just gonna put that out there that I think Lucas would have made a big difference. So maybe he's been got a bit lucky there, but I don't think Viaduct was ever going to change. You can't do much against a 50 kill sniper. That's just nuts. But, anyway.
I will say though, 4th place, no mean feat. That's pretty decent actually. To make the playoffs. I mean, unfortunately, the games didn't go their way, but good job from the Bin Black all around. I think they really proved themselves to be a top 4 team, and it showed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Do we not have interviews? Alright, that's a shame.
Would it have been interesting to ask someone from the bin black why they didn't attempt a sniper, counter sniper, or like any sort of other off class. They seemed really set on the general vanilla composition: 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, a demo man, and a medic. Seemed really keen to try and test the waters and go for an off class like that. That maybe could have made a little bit of a difference, but maybe it might have just been Mr. Epic out sniping that counter.
Yeah, maybe. But although I will say, like, you often see like really, really good snipers actually struggling with sniper because it's quite different. You know, like if you can hit a scout that's just jumping around, that's a very different sort of skill than it is just hit like this quick scoping sniper. You know, that's just like scoping and rescoping and that kind of stuff. Like basically standing still, and just it's a lot more like mind games where like you can pop up and when they're looking somewhere else and they don't know what your position is, that kind of stuff. So a counter sniper can often be very successful, even if your sniper has poor aim. Like you can just still outplay the sniper by just kind of being smart and just going for the sniper, whereas he's going for like the demo man and medic and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it definitely would have been an interesting question, but we can just think about it instead, which is just as good, I would argue. You know?
Yeah, we TF2 players love our thinking, especially the emoji.
Exactly. That is.
And I think with no interviews, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, indeed. So of course, we saw the bin black. They have been eliminated, and then the next game that's coming up, and I don't quite know when it is. I don't know the schedule yet.
We know the matches at least. It'll be 7 and Swift in the winners' finals. The winner of that obviously goes to the grand final, and the loser will face the bin in the losers' final to try and basically get that other grand final slot. But also the advantage of winning the winners' final, you also get that 1 map buy essentially. So you only have to win 2 maps out of 5.
Yeah, they actually removed that. So I don't know what the advantage is this time around. It's kind of weird having a lower bracket when you don't get an advantage from coming from the winners bracket. Maybe they get more map bans or something. Yeah, that's what they get. That's a bit silly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It makes legitimately for a much better final when the maps are even. Like,
I guess as well, I think, apart from one season, I think that every time someone's made the winners' final or won the winners' final, they immediately won the premiership afterwards. I think the one scene that didn't happen was when 7 lost to Arctic Foxes, actually. I think Foxes actually made the comeback there.
Yeah, that was very much an outlier in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's just, when you have to win like a map more and you're already the underdog, it makes for, like, I think everyone thinks that upper bracket and lower bracket like systems are fair. They just make for bad finals.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're trying to get the best of both worlds, I guess. It's just a bit weird.
It's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, definitely want to check in for Swift versus 7. 7, they've been struggling a bit. You know, they're trying to prepare for LAN. They've struggled a bit in their scrims. I know they've like lost their velocity and stuff, I think. So, you know, it should be interesting to see just how they're doing these days. There's definitely been some consistency issues. I think the last time around when they played against Bin Black in the round 1 of the playoff, they had like Captain in there and Drac on Medic. No, not Drac, like Stock on Medic. Things got weird. So, you know, who knows what they're up to, and Swift, they're definitely practicing their ass off, so definitely check that out. But I've been Peter. Joining me has been George and Gemm on production. Been a pleasure, George, and I hope we can do this again another time, and we will see. Maybe we'll see you in the finals. Either way, I can't wait to wrap the season up. It's going to be good times, and then, yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and we will catch you next time anything cool happens in the ETF2L playoffs. Either way, ciao, ciao.